We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump!
We'll pause.
Protesters are in the building.
Thank you.
They broke the glass. Everybody stay down. Get down.
This is America, and this is what's happening right now. The president needs to call it off.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
Hello everyone, it's Queen V-Line back to you with another video. This video pertains to the guilty verdicts on multiple offenses against 5 members of the Proud Boys, including 4 defendants that were found guilty of seditious conspiracy for their actions before and during the breach Capitol on 1/6/2021. In addition, there has been new developments as a DC lieutenant has been charged with obstruction of justice and false statements pertaining to the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique. Before I get into the new developments and my commentary, I would like to extend my continued condolences to the families of Brian Sicknick, who lost his life the day after 1/6, in addition to the 4 officers, Gunther, Hashida, Howard Liebengood, Kyle DeFreytag, and Jeffery Smith, who unfortunately took their lives months after the 1/6 attack. I will leave in the comments and description below for organizations as it pertains to hotlines dealing with mental health. In addition, approximately 140 officers were injured during the attack. Other associates included the Oath Keepers, elected officials, military personnel, and law enforcement participated in the 1/6 attack. As it pertains to the guilty verdict of the Proud Boys, it has been confirmed that a jury in DC found Enrique Tarrio, the former national chairman of the Proud Boys, Ethan Nordean, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Rehl, were found guilty of seditious conspiracy and conspiracy to obstruct an official proceedings. The 4 defendants and co-defendants, Dominic Pezzola, were also found guilty of obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to preventing members of Congress and federal law enforcement officers from discharging their duties, civil order, and destruction of government property. Pezzola was also found guilty of assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers and robbery involving government property. According to the evidence, the Proud Boys described themselves as members of a pro-Western organization for men who refused to apologize for creating the modern world. Tarrio was the national chairman of the organization. In September 2020, the now twice impeached one-term grifter loser liable for sexual abuse and defamation. Donald Trump stated on national TV for the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, therefore increasing membership in the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys played a pivotal role in the violent attack during the Washington, D.C. rallies in November and December of 2020. During a rally on December 12, 2020, Tarrio set a stolen Black Lives Matter banner on fire. During that same rally, cooperating with defendant Bernito, who has also pled guilty to seditious conspiracy. Later that month, Tarrio and his co-defendants conspired to prevent, hinder, and delay the certification of the Electoral College vote and to oppose by force the authority of the government of the United States of America. On 1/6/2021, the defendants directed, mobilized, and led a group of Proud Boys and other members of the crowd onto the Capitol grounds, leading to dismantling of barricades, destruction of property, breaching of the Capitol building, and assaults on law enforcement. During and after the attack, Tarrio and his co-defendants claimed credit for what had happened on social media and in an encrypted chat room. In addition, a sixth defendant, Charles Donohoe, pled guilty on April 8, 2022 to conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding and assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers. Last week, a D.C. lieutenant officer by the name of Shane Lamont was arrested on an indictment charging that he obstructed an investigation into the December 12, 2020 destruction of a Black Lives Matter banner and made false and misleading statements to federal enforcement about having done so, including that he leaked to Enrique, the leader of the Proud Boys. It has been confirmed that Lamont has been indicted on 1 count of obstruction of justice and 3 counts of making false statements. According to the indictment, Lamont worked as a supervisor of the intelligence branch of the MPD's Homeland Security Bureau, beginning in July 2019 and continuing up to January 2021. Lamont and Tarrio were in regular contact regarding Proud Boys' planned activities in Washington, D.C. The indictment alleges that as early of July 2020, Lamont began using Telegram to providing information to Tarrio about law enforcement activity relating to Proud Boys activity in Washington, D.C. The indictment also alleges that on June 2nd, 2021, during an interview with federal enforcement, Lamont made false and misleading statements regarding his communications and contacts with Tarrio. These misstatements, related to methods by Lamont and Tarrio would communicate, whether Lamont had provided Tarrio with sensitive information, whether Lamont had notified Tarrio about the status of the investigation into the banner burning, and whether Lamont notified Tarrio about his pending arrest, and the extent and content of Lamont's discussion with Tarrio prior and after 1/6. The obstruction of justice charge carries a maximum of 30 years in prison. Each charge for making a false statement carries a maximum of 5 years in prison. The maximum sentence for federal offenses provided by Congress is provided here for informational purposes, and the sentencing will be determined by the court on the advisory of sentencing guidelines and other factors. Now you will watch this brief news clip, and I will be back with my commentary.
This comes just hours after the Justice Department scored a critical win in its prosecution of the January 6th attack. Today, 4 members of the Proud Boys, including the group's leader, Enrique Tarrio, were convicted of seditious conspiracy related to the Capitol riot. A 5th member, Dominic Pezzola, was acquitted of seditious conspiracy, but was convicted on other felony charges. Attorney General Merrick Garland spoke about the verdict late today.
The evidence presented at trial detailed the extent of the violence at the Capitol on January 6th and the central role these defendants played in setting into motion the unlawful events of that day. Today's verdict makes clear that the Justice Department will do everything in its power to defend the American people and American democracy.
As guilty verdicts and indictments come to pass about what occurred on 1/6 prior to the attack, during the attack, and after the attack, I want us to be mindful what we witnessed on 1/6/21 was all because of one man who could not handle a loss. I need us to be mindful that it was the people's vote that voted this person out. And because of that, entities known and unknown to the public conspired and disrupted the process on 1/6/21. We have entities that are a part of our judicial system, Congress, and other entities that are conspiring. It has even extended into other countries outside of the United States, because we are not watching what the guardians of Putin's game plan is. It is to disrupt, cause chaos, and silence persons who do not follow their lead into the destruction of our democracy. We have seen the current House Speaker go out of his way to ensuring to protecting the twice impeached one-term grifter and other electoral officials going out of their way to damaging and disrupting our democracy as we know it. This is not a surprise, as persons who swore to protect and serve violating their oath in which to serve the public. And I want persons to understand that this type of attack can occur again if we are not engaged and if we don't vote. Once again, elections have consequences. Elections matter. I thank you for watching, and as always, please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.